Óscar Arnulfo Romero y Galdámez was a prelate of the Catholic Church in El Salvador, who served as the fourth Archbishop of San Salvador. He spoke out against poverty, social injustice, assassinations, and torture. In 1980, Romero was assassinated while offering Mass in the chapel of the Hospital of Divine Providence. Though no one was ever convicted for the crime, investigations by the UN-created Truth Commission for El Salvador concluded that extreme right-wing politician and death squad leader Roberto D'Aubuisson had given the order. Pope Francis stated during Romero's beatification, his ministry was distinguished by his particular attention to the most poor and marginalized. Hailed as a hero by supporters of liberation theology inspired by his work, Romero, according to his biographer, was not interested in liberation theology but faithfully adhered to Catholic teachings on liberation and a preferential option for the poor, desiring a social revolution based on interior reform. Up to the end of his life, his spiritual life drew much from the spirituality of Opus Dei. While seen as a social conservative at his appointment as archbishop in 1977, he was deeply affected by the murder of his friend and fellow priest Rutilio Grande a few weeks after his own appointment and subsequently developed into an outspoken social activist. In 2010, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed the 24th of March as the International Day for the Right to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations and for the Dignity of Victims, in recognition of the role of Archbishop Romero in defense of human rights. Romero actively denounced violations of the human rights of the most vulnerable people and defended the principles of protecting lives, promoting human dignity and opposition to all forms of violence. In 1997, Pope John Paul II bestowed upon Romero the title of Servant of God, and a cause for beatification and canonization was opened for him. The cause stalled, but was reopened by Pope Benedict XVI in 2012. He was declared a martyr by Pope Francis on 3 February 2015, paving the way for his beatification, which took place on 23 May 2015. Latin American church groups often proclaim Romero an unofficial patron saint of the Americas and El Salvador. Catholics in El Salvador often refer to him as San Romero, as well as Monseñor Romero. Outside of Catholicism, Romero is honored by other Christian denominations including Church of England and Anglican Communion through the calendar in common worship, as well as in at least one Lutheran liturgical calendar. Archbishop Romero is also one of the 10 20th-century martyrs depicted in statues above the Great West Door of Westminster Abbey in London. In 2008, Europe-based magazine A Different View included Romero among its 15 champions of world democracy.